Tensions rise between the UK and the EU as Brussels raid the British factory AstraZeneca and Boris Johnson prepares to protect the United Kingdom. Hello everyone and welcome to the first video of the day. I'm sure you've been following this channel over the last couple of days while we were talking about the escalation in the European Union when it comes to AstraZeneca and the Oxford team and also Pfizer in general. Things are getting worse and worse because we've just discovered that the Telegraph reports that the European Union have sent a team, thanks to the Commission, to raid one of the AstraZeneca sites. So this is the escalation that started over the last few days. In case you haven't been following the news, basically the European Union, some of the European countries, France, Spain, Italy, Germany and the Netherlands a few months ago, decided to sign a contract with AstraZeneca, just like the UK, independently. But the European Union stopped them. They said the EU and the EU Commission have to do it on your behalf. And then they messed up the contracts. There was a delay and now AstraZeneca is trying to fix it, but the European Union is blaming AstraZeneca, the UK, the US, trees, everything you could think of. Now this is kind of escalating because the EU says that AstraZeneca committed because of the contract. But this is not really true, and we're going to explain the reality and the facts in this video. The latest that we have is that one of the AstraZeneca sites, production sites in Belgium, was raided yesterday by the European Commission. This was done by as an excuse to inspect. They wanted to make sure their suspicions that they had was that AstraZeneca may have sold the reserved EU vaccine stock to other non-EU countries, including Britain, which paid more for the jabs. So they decided to basically just go in there and say, well, anything that's in here belongs to the European Union, even if the contract's already been signed, and that they belong, technically speaking, to the UK or any other country. So this started from here, and the EU decided to make a couple of statements, make things worse, and Boris Johnson also come out to protect the British interests. Now, this is going to prove Boris Johnson's leadership, but also AstraZeneca as a British/Swedish company, to see if they can stand up to the European Union, because this is what they've been doing for the past few decades, and no one actually stood up to the EU. Now, the Belgian health minister has said that the raid was carried out on behalf of the Commission. It was aimed at proving whether or not AstraZeneca's explanation for the failure in supply was genuine. So they didn't trust them. They said, we're just going to raid the site to find out what's happening. Now, one of the European Union officials have said that we've discussed this matter with our Belgian colleagues. We want to see whether what we're being told is correct or not. So I would like to thank the Belgian authorities for undertaking these efforts. Okay, so considering the EU are coming out explaining, saying that we want to work really well with AstraZeneca, we want to build trust. Do you really think sneaking into a company's factory randomly last minute is going to build that trust? Now there is a reality behind all this. This delay that's happened, the delivery delay, is actually because of the European Union, their bureaucracy. They messed up a number of things, including the fact that initially they didn't actually put in an order. It wasn't an official order that they sent. Whether it was an email or letter, it wasn't an actual order. Secondly, there's a plot twist coming up, so just stay tuned in the next few minutes. Now, according to one of the Politics for All on Twitter, the EU believes that it's entitled to the AstraZeneca's vaccines produced at its UK plants as well. So as you know, AstraZeneca have a couple of sites, in Belgium, in the UK, and they say that, well, even if it's in the UK, they should give it to us. So not just the EU plants. So if there are any issues at the EU plants, then the UK plants should provide the EU with the vaccine. Really? Okay. So this is the same people who yesterday decided to send out a lot of negative statements against AstraZeneca, saying it's not even a good jab. We don't really want it. And then they decided to ban exports from the EU, so you can't take it out of the European Union, but they want to then steal some of the jabs from the UK and other countries. Now, this is where the plot twist comes in. The European Medical Agency, the regulator in the EU, haven't actually approved AstraZeneca. They haven't even approved this as a jab. And so technically speaking, the company could just, according to Matt Killian, who's from the ASI, Adam Smith Institute, technically speaking, the company could just hand back the money and withdraw their request for approval. And then he continues by saying that the UK should pay AstraZeneca to do this. So the EMA haven't approved this jab. The EU haven't actually put in a proper order at the time. Then they're complaining that AstraZeneca haven't delivered. Then they're saying that all the other AstraZeneca sites, including the ones in the UK, should give their vaccines to the European Union. This is hilarious. Now, the EMA stuff separate. One of the German MEPs who sits on the health committee in the European Parliament, came out to say that the European Union citizens will not be treated as a second class. Okay. And he's continued by saying that if AstraZeneca don't change course, it will face consequences, and so will the UK better think twice, including blocking the Pfizer exports. So they're now targeting the UK government. Really. This is not the last thing he said, because it got much worse. At the end, he said that if we treat Europeans as a second class, then you will suffer for this. Speaking directly to the UK, US, and AstraZeneca as a company. Interesting, right? I'm not really sure how they think they can actually get away with it. This is what they decided to do. They sent out one of the European Commission officials to actually send a massive warning to AstraZeneca, saying that, firstly, you have to treat us well, and then the warning came.
We reject the logic of first come, first served. That may work at the neighbourhood butchers, but not in contracts, and not in our advance purchase agreements. There's no priority clause in the advance purchase agreement. And there is also no hierarchy of the 4 production plants named in the advance purchase agreement. 2 are in the EU and 2 are located in the UK.
Okay, so that's, firstly, considering she thinks that this was a real contract in the first place, that's a problem. AstraZeneca have good lawyers. Secondly, this is the warning.
This evening at 6:30, the steering board will convene again. I call on AstraZeneca to engage fully, to rebuild trust, to provide complete information, and to live up to its contractual, societal, and moral obligations. Thank you very much.
It's unbelievable. I have absolutely no idea how this has become a thing, and I'm going to talk about how the mainstream media in the UK reacted to this, and that is also embarrassing. Firstly, The Sun and Harry Cole report that Boris Johnson has vowed to protect the UK supplies and to make sure that the EU can't just randomly come in, raid our sites and steal our stock. So this is actually good news, and the government have to make sure that this happens. So Prime Minister has now spoken out after Brussels ordered AstraZeneca to start diverting their stocks from the British factories to Europe. I mean, again, this is it's actually happening. It's not a joke. It's not some sort of weird dramatic movie. This is real life, and the EU think that they can force the UK and AstraZeneca to send their stocks from the UK to Europe. Now, former Tory leader Ian Duncan Smith has told The Sun that you could not make it up. It's pathetic. They screwed up and are now trying to blame everyone else. This is a really big moment, as many will finally see just how arrogant and intolerant so many of the EU institutions really are. They just don't get it. They have made a complete mess of vaccinations and have been making a mess, and then they're obviously trying to shift the blame onto AstraZeneca. Their blame is wholly theirs. Yes, it's absolutely right that it is astonishing, and it does demonstrate their arrogance and their incompetence. So IDS is absolutely spot on this. Now, the issue that continues with this whole saga is that the Financial Times reported that Germany are now trying to put pressure on the European Union and all the other European countries to have more powers to block the exports from the European Union. That means if you are not an EU citizen from the EU 27 countries, your life doesn't matter. Whether you're in Africa, South America, Britain, Asia, then no. The EU will not help you. And Germany wants to ban any exports and have the power to do that. This is not really a good sign. This is not this European unity that they've been talking about. Germany are going rogue. On the other hand, according to sources from Europe, Madrid and Spain, the Spanish government, have also just suspended all the jabs, the whole operation, for the next 2 weeks. So that's it. They've completely stopped the whole operation, and they're considering a number of new cases are going up massively in Spain. People are still losing their lives. There's still a big chunk of people in Spain who are not convinced that even if these jabs are effective or not, are they safe or they're dangerous. But the government didn't even explain this. They just said, we're going to sulk. We're going to basically just completely stop the whole thing. We don't really care. That's not really looking good for the Spanish government either. So you got the Germans on the one hand doing that. You got the Spanish completely stopping this. And Guido Fawkes also reported from AstraZeneca, and what they've actually said, that they have pledged the company a best effort, not a commitment, to fulfill the order numbers. AstraZeneca said, we didn't commit with the European Union, by the way. It's not a commitment that we have to Europe. It's a best effort. And yes, so that's the biggest difference, legally speaking, when it comes to the contracts. The AstraZeneca team are saying that, well, this is not what the EU actually said to us in the first place, and we are still trying to work things out. Brussels need to grow up. They do need to grow up. Now that the whole complication will continue, escalations are still rising. The European unity is at its worst at the moment because, again, the EU, the head of the health as an area in the European Union came out again in that statement that we saw earlier to say that in our contract, it is not specified that any country or the UK has priority because it's signed earlier. The first thing that you signed wasn't even a contract. And secondly, it doesn't have to do that. AstraZeneca have already said that the UK put in the order first, they signed the contract, and we're just delivering. You know, we had allocated a number of stocks and we're sending it to the UK. European Union, the European Medical Agency haven't even approved AstraZeneca, and yet they're still obviously delivering it. They're still trying their best. And these people don't even know what they're talking about. I'm not really sure if they're actually up to date with their own operation. Sky News. I told you I'm going to talk about the mainstream media and how they have reacted in the UK. You would think that they would try to be objective, try to explain to people what's happening. No. Adam Parsons from Sky News has written this article on their website defending the European Union, taking their side and targeting AstraZeneca in a very, very subtle way, saying that the whole article is about these are the three main reasons why the European Union are so angry with AstraZeneca. Oh, really? Let's find out why they're angry. So there are a number of points. It says, firstly, the European Union maintained that it's provided money up front to AstraZeneca so the company could beef up its production capacity. So Sky News are saying that, it's AstraZeneca's fault. The EU paid the whole money up front. That's the one issue. Then, secondly, the European Union is furious about the idea that the UK is getting preferential treatment. But let me explain the situation first. As I said, what I'm trying to understand is a company that's a British, Swedish company. They have their site in the UK, and the Oxford team worked with them. They produced it. They put in the order. They've signed the contract. They're just delivering to one of their customers, which is the UK government. The European Union are furious. Sky News are taking the EU side. Get it? That's the update. This is the world we're living now, right now. And I think, again, there are a number of other reasons. Finally, they're angry that it just plays into the idea that the European approach to vaccination has been, sluggish. That's not even a reason. But, if the EU want to be angry with AstraZeneca, and if Sky News want to take the EU side, it's their right, I guess. Maybe Ofcom is not really a good regulator at the end if they're not really careful about what one of the main media outlets are actually talking about. That's the latest update I have for you guys. And then in the next few days, I'll keep you guys posted on a number of issues that's been happening in this area. In the next video, I'm going to talk about Nicola Sturgeon, Queen Nicola, and the SNP, and how we are seeing the final days of Nicola Sturgeon potentially. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, become a member. But a big reminder to everyone who's been watching this channel, you only have a few days left until the end of January to get your I Believe in Britain merchandise. Because with this special discount, Brexit 10. That's our January sale with a special discount, Brexit 10. Use that code. Use the link in the description. Get your I Believe in Britain merchandise. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.